The house was a steal. Old Victorian with rotting shutters, creaky floorboards, and a history darker than a politician's diary. I bought it cash, no questions asked, planning to flip it and triple my money. But while tearing out the basement paneling, my crowbar hit something solid. A rusty safe, bolted into concrete, sat hidden behind moldy drywall. It took 3 Red Bulls, a sledgehammer, and a midnight YouTube tutorial, but I cracked it open, my jaw nearly detached. Inside, stacks on stacks of $100 bills, neatly bundled, crisp, untouched, a freaking dragon's hoard of cash. I didn't count every bill, but based on the bricks alone, it had to be around $200 million. No note, no key, no owner, just money. My money. Now, or so I thought. Welcome to Prodigy Tales. Make sure you like and subscribe for your top-notch HOA drama. Now here comes Karen. Short haircut like a helmet, clipboard surgically attached to her hand, voice sharper than a guillotine. She didn't even wait for a hello before barking. That money belongs to the HOA. I laughed. She didn't. Anything found within HOA jurisdiction becomes community property, page 97 of the bylaws. I told her I wiped with page 97. That's when she threatened to report me for illegal modifications and suspicious activity. 5 minutes later, I had 3 noise complaints, a fence violation, and a warning about unregistered wealth. She camped outside my house like a hawk on espresso, drones buzzing over my yard, anonymous notes in my mailbox, even tried to bribe my contractor to accidentally destroy my plumbing. So I flipped the script. I held a fake meeting and announced I was donating the entire $200 million to the HOA under Karen's name. Her eyes lit up like Vegas. She squealed like a possum in a blender. "Oh, thank you. I'll handle it personally." And she did. Took the money and disappeared for a week. When she came back, she wore Gucci sunglasses, drove a Bentley, and had fake lips fatter than her sense of entitlement. She never reported the money. Not to the cops, not to the board, not even to her idiot husband, Rick, who still thought they were tight on cash. But here's the twist. I wasn't done. That money, it wasn't just any money. I had my suspicions, and I'd already planted the seeds for a bigger trap. Karen had no clue what she'd walked into. Karen strutted around the neighborhood like she was the queen of Monte Carlo. Suddenly, HOA meetings were held at her mansion. Well, the same suburban house she bedazzled with gold lawn flamingos and a fountain shaped like her own face. She called it Modern Versailles. Everyone else called it Karen's Clown Castle. She fired half the HOA board for lack of vision and replaced them with her yoga instructor, her dog groomer, and her cousin Cheryl, who once got arrested for stealing scented candles from Bath and Body Works. It was madness. Delicious madness. Meanwhile, I kept my head down, played dumb, smiled at Karen like I didn't know she was laundering cartel money in plain sight. She thought I was scared of her. She had no idea I was documenting everything. Every trip to the bank, every shady donation she made to herself, every luxury item that showed up in her driveway. I even installed a motion-activated camera in the HOA's mailbox, because Karen didn't know the difference between a ballot and a bribe. Then came the party. Karen threw a HOA prosperity gala, complete with rented giraffes, chocolate fountains, and a DJ dressed like Napoleon. Everyone was forced to attend or be fined. At the gala, she gave a speech about self-made success while sipping champagne out of a Fabergé egg. I nearly choked on my shrimp cocktail. Her husband Rick was in the corner looking like he aged 20 years in 2 weeks. Poor guy had no clue his wife was spending more than Elon Musk's lunch budget. But the real fun started when Karen hired armed community enforcers, a ragtag team of wannabe cops in tactical vests who patrolled the neighborhood on Segways and issued HOA citations for crimes like improper mailbox color and insufficient flower cheer. One of them tried to fine my neighbor's toddler for excessive sidewalk chalk. I laughed until I cried. Still, Karen kept the money close. No one saw the inside of her house. Rumors flew. Secret safes, hidden vaults, offshore accounts. She was high on power, drunk on money, and clueless about the trail she was leaving behind. Then, one night, an unmarked black SUV rolled slowly down the street. No headlights. Tinted windows. It stopped right in front of Karen's place. She had no idea who she'd stolen from. That SUV didn't belong to Amazon, DoorDash, or Karen's Botox dealer. No, this one meant business. I watched from my attic window, camera rolling, as 3 men in black suits stepped out, eyes hidden behind aviators. The kind of guys who don't knock, they just enter and make you confess your sins before you even remember committing them. They moved with military precision, and within seconds, Karen's front door creaked open. Rick answered in his flannel pajamas, blinked twice, and vanished behind them like a magician's assistant. Karen was next. She came screaming down the stairs in a velvet robe that looked like it was stolen off a Vegas lounge act. "You can't be here. I'm the president of the HOA," one of the agents calmly replied. "That's cute." Then they handed her a folder so thick it could crush a watermelon. Her face dropped. "What's this?" she barked. "Everything," the agent said. "Your flights, your bank transfers, your purchases, your fake charities, your little offshore hobby, and the money. You didn't report it." Now here's the real kicker. I'd tipped off the DEA. That money Karen got belonged to a retired drug lord who stashed it decades ago under a fake name tied to this property. DEA had been watching the house for years, waiting for someone dumb enough to unearth it and move it around, but they couldn't act until someone touched it. And boy, did Karen touch it, with both hands, and probably her forehead. As they read her rights, Karen tried pulling every trick in the HOA book. "I demand a vote. I'll file a grievance. I'll hold an emergency meeting." The agents didn't blink. They confiscated her laptops, phones, her new Bentley, and even that tacky fountain with her face on it. The giraffes? Animal control came for them an hour later. They were just happy to leave. But Karen didn't go down alone. Oh no, she flailed, screamed, threw Rick under the bus, tried to blame Cheryl the candle thief, even claimed I forced the money on her with hypnotic suggestion. The more she spoke, the deeper she sank, and I just sat there sipping lemonade on my porch, watching the fireworks. But this was only the beginning. Because what Karen didn't know was I still had the rest of the cash hidden, and she wasn't the only one sniffing around. Karen was dragged out in cuffs, screaming about HOA sovereignty and some nonsense about her diplomatic immunity as a neighborhood executive. Rick stood at the door, holding a tiny suitcase and a chihuahua, whispering, "I warned you," as she got shoved into the back seat of the SUV like expired luggage. The rest of the neighborhood stood frozen on their lawns, mouths open, popcorn in hand, watching the Tyrant Queen fall from grace harder than a one-legged giraffe in a bouncy castle. I gave the agents a polite wave. One of them gave me a look like, "We know you're involved, but we've got bigger idiots to fry." Fair enough. Karen had made it easy. Every cent she moved, every watch she bought, every charity brunch she threw was documented in full HD by yours truly. I even made a little documentary called Karen's Cocaine HOA and sent it anonymously to every board member, city council rep, and PTA group within a 50-mile radius. The aftermath was juicier than anything I could have scripted. Karen's mansion? Seized. Her bank accounts? Frozen harder than Elsa's sneeze. Her prized Gold Elite HOA president plaque? Auctioned on eBay. Guess who bought it? That's right, me. It's now hanging in my bathroom, right above the toilet where it belongs. But the best part? She never once reported the money. Not to the police, not to the feds, not even to the HOA treasury, which meant she was guilty of knowingly possessing and laundering illicit funds. The charges? Oh, just a spicy little cocktail of conspiracy, wire fraud, tax evasion, and aiding a criminal enterprise. She tried pleading insanity. The judge didn't even blink, gave her 10 years minimum. Meanwhile, I quietly moved the rest of the untouched cash into a private vault, legally, since I actually did report it. The feds said I could keep a finder's fee for tipping them off. Let's just say it was extremely generous. I paid off the house, bought 3 more just for fun, and started a new HOA, one that bans Karens by default. Rick eventually left town, started a cat cafe in Oregon. Cheryl went back to candle theft. And the HOA? Well, it elected a golden retriever as the new president, and honestly, it's been the best leadership we've had. So next time you move into a new house and hear a creak in the floor, dig. You never know what kind of treasure you'll find or which Karen will try to steal it. The end.